Hello, everybody, and welcome to Reviews That Don't Matter with Jessica Hitt. My name is Jessica Hitt, and on today's episode, we are talking about a college comedy that was 2016, set in the 70s, and it is Everybody Wants Some. This is supposed to be the spiritual sequel to Dazed and Confused, and if you were asking if I've seen Dazed and Confused, I mean, you probably know the answer. Of course, I haven't seen Dazed and Confused. I haven't seen anything. It's the point of these reviews. I haven't seen anything. This is directed by Richard Linklater. I remember this coming out in 2016, and I did actually want to see it, but I didn't, and it happened to be on Hulu. I don't know if it's on Hulu or HBO now. I think it's directly on Hulu. So if you have that, if you have Hulu Plus, then that's where you get it. I was listening to a podcast over the weekend, and that was brought up, and I'm like, I forgot about that movie. I should see it, mainly because as Tyler Hoechlin, who I love Tyler Hoechlin. He's actually a fantastic actor. He was in Teen Wolf, which is a great show, don't even at me. And then he was also played Superman in the Supergirl series, which I never saw that turn, but I've heard it was actually pretty good. And also he's just like really good looking. It has Blake Jenner from Glee, who I hate Glee, but I've watched it almost every episode. I hate that show. Also has Glenn Powell, and I actually am a big fan of Glenn Powell. I think he is a great actor. I've seen quite a bit of stuff he's in. He's the only good part of Scream Queens, only good part. And it was just, Ryan Guzman was in this. I kept wondering who the friend to Tyler Hoechlin's character, both seniors, I kept wondering who he was because he was so hot in the movie. And then I looked it up. It's Ryan Guzman. And I love Ryan Guzman because he was in the Step Up movies. And I love Step Up. Again, don't at me. If you don't know much about this movie, of course, it is, like I said, the spiritual sequel to Dazed and Confused. It's set over the long weekend leading up to school starting for, college, of a baseball team, 2 houses for the whole baseball team they got to live in. And it really follows around Blake Jenner's freshman character and his sort of interactions with his team. And, you know, getting drunk, getting laid, all that kind of stuff. Set in the 70s, and I personally really, really enjoyed it. I just had so much fun with this movie. I thought that it really felt like college would be in the 70s, and even kind of similar to where it is now. The culture felt real. The acting is superb in this movie, but also the character work that those actors do is so good. Sometimes they're unrecognizable. Like, I did not know it was Ryan Guzman at all in that. Glenn Powell has this great mustache. So was Tyler Hoechlin. These are really great characters that were brought to life by these actors. And I could tell that they genuinely got along and liked each other. Even the supporting cast worked really well, and everybody had these sort of weird shticks to their characters that made them feel real without being the stereotype stoner of the group or spiritual one or all that kind of stuff. This is also sort of the first meeting and the first college love of Blake Jenner and Zoe Deutsch's character. I think that's how you pronounce her last name. And I think they have great chemistry. They worked really well together. I liked the characters. This is definitely male heavy. There's really Zoe Deutsch's character is the only female really in this whole movie, and that's fine, of course. It's following a male baseball team. I get it. But it does, I do kind of wish maybe they would have had some more women in it. One thing I will say is I almost wish there was more baseball in it, because there's really just one big scene with baseball, which is their sort of Sunday practice that they have. And I understand why not, but I wanted more sports in it for some reason. I kind of wanted a grown-up Sandlot in a way, which is definitely I definitely get the feel for that for sure, because it has those very specific characters that you remember for certain things. To be honest, I would totally watch a sequel where it goes through their actual season to see how good they are. I think this movie is good enough to warrant a sequel. I think there's a lot to be explored with relationships and the sort of friendships that these guys develop. I like this sort of hierarchy of, you have the seniors who are leading the whole thing and they know what they're doing, and some of them are going pro. Then you have kind of the mid-card of sophomores and juniors who are, there, and they're trying, some of them might be pro, but most of them won't. Then you have the freshmen, they're trying to prove themselves. And a lot of pitchers. There's a lot of pitchers in this baseball team. I didn't realize how many pitchers are in a baseball team. Apparently a lot. This show would also be a really great TV show. I think it would work really well in that kind of way and kind of make it more serial and not procedural. Obviously, there's no way to make it procedural, but you make it a serial TV show, whether it's on a streaming service. I don't want it on network. I think network fucks everything up. But Netflix or Hulu or something can pick that up, make a whole series of it. I would totally watch it. I think the cast is good enough. I'm obsessed with Glen Powell in this movie. I just find him so likable and like endearing, and I cannot wait to see what this actor brings to the table, because he's gonna be everywhere. Going to be everywhere. And I'm really sad that this didn't do better in theaters, because everybody's always saying they want original stories, or they're tired of all these CGI fest movies, and you just don't go out and watch them. And part of that is because they're not marketed the same. Like, you just don't, it's not on people's radar. Most people don't even know what the hell this movie is, even when it was coming out. There was really no marketing whatsoever. The only reason I knew what it was is because I actually follow movies and what's coming out, and I listen to movie shows and all this stuff. And don't get me wrong, I love big CGI fest movies. I love disaster movies. I love superhero movies. I love action movies. I love those tentpole films. But it is nice to mix in these smaller movies that kind of go under the radar, kind of how like Colossal was. I think that should have done so much better in theaters. It's such a great movie, and yes, it has CGI in it, but it's such an indie film feel, which it was an indie film. So is Everybody Wants Some. It's an indie film. And I'm just like, I kind of want to watch it. I'm going to watch it again, because I want to pick it apart. And I like it. It kind of feels like it's almost about nothing but about just living, and I really enjoy that, because there's no like huge payoff in the film. There's no like big thing going on. It's really just about relationships and building up to college, going to your first college class, all that kind of stuff, finding your first college love, being on a team and getting to know these people, living in a house with a whole bunch of people you don't know, and exploring these new personalities that you're not used to. One thing I will say is Blake Jenner's character was very comfortable around all these people. Like, there was no shyness or anything. He went straight into the ball busting, which is cool. But like, for me to be relatable, like I don't meet new people at all. Like, I don't like meeting new people. People I know, I like, and I'm fine with them. And so it takes me a long time to open up and talk to people. So I would have maybe a character like that was a little bit more pronounced in the fact that, they're shy and they take a while. They just like to listen, and then they'll speak up every once in a while type of thing. That's kind of what I'd like to see in something like that. But overall, really, really enjoyed this movie. I think it's a great movie. I would recommend this to pretty much anybody. There is some small nudity at the beginning parts of it. They drink and smoke weed and all this kind of stuff. So be prepared for that if you're particularly not excited about that kind of stuff. But I think when you're making a college comedy, it kind of comes with it. I mean, that's the things that you experience with is sex, drugs, and alcohol, which is totally fine as long as you're doing it responsibly. So with that PSA in mind, I hope you guys like this review. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below if you've seen Everybody Wants Some, or if Richard Linklater films, or any of these things. Talk about it. Dazed and Confused. Tell me if I need to see it. Also, don't forget to subscribe. I make videos Monday through Friday, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.